Okay, this is a DT graph, and with a DT graph, we need to have some info. We need to say, first of all, this is the positive direction, and we'll say this is in meters. This will be the negative direction, and it'll also be in meters. And this is your time frame here, which will be marked off in seconds. Okay, so direction on a DT graph is important. This is a positive velocity. This is a negative velocity, positive velocity, and a negative velocity. And what we're going to do is we're going to find the average velocity for each of the four segments. So we're going to start off with this one here. We'll call this segment 1. And so for your formula, generally, your average velocity is d2 minus d1, t2 minus t1. And so I'm not going to rewrite this every time. I'm just going to state that I'm looking for the V average here for this segment. D2, this is 40, and D1 is 30. So 40 minus 30 over 5, that's T2, and 0 is T1. And when you do this, you get an average of 10 over 5, which means positive 2 meters per second. Okay, that's your velocity for segment 1. For segment 2, I'll go to my second point right here. This is D2, and it is 0. And for D1, it's 40. And my T2 is 10, and my T1 is 5. So that's going to give me minus 40 over 5. So my average then is going to be minus 8 meters per second. Okay, for my third right here, I'm going to go V average. My D2 is there, and that's 30, minus my D1, which is here, which is 0. My T2 is 15, my T1 is 10, so that's going to end up being 30 over 5. So this average is going to be positive 6 meters per second. And finally, my last one, V average. D2 minus 50 minus D1, 30. T2 is 19. T1 is 15. So you're going to get an average of minus 80 over 4. So your average in this case is going to be minus 20 meters per second. There you go. Those are the average velocities calculated for each segment. And I guess we should let's find the average velocity from 5 seconds to 19 seconds. So what you need to do is draw yourself a straight line between the 2 points. There you go. We want to find the average of this straight line. Same formula. D2 is way down here. That's minus 50. Minus D1, which is way up there, is 40. T2 is 19. T1 is 5. So your average velocity is going to be minus 90 over 14. So the average velocity there is going to end up being minus 6.4 meters per second. So that's your average between these 2 points, and we don't care what the original path followed, we just care about what it averaged out when you started here and ended there. There's a few other things that we could find here. For instance, we could find out total distance traveled, in which case you would just look at the vertical displacement that occurs. So from this point to this point, it goes up 10, and then from this point to this point, it goes down back to the 0, and then from here to there it goes back up, and then from there to there you figure out how far it goes down. So you just keep track. If they ask for distance, you just add them up. So you would end up saying, let's do that. For distance, okay, you would go 10 plus from 40 to 0 is 40, plus from 0 to 30 is 30, plus from 30 to 50 is 80. And you would add those up. So that's 80 and 30 is 110, 150, 160. So in total you travel 160 meters. You don't have to put a positive on that because you don't care about direction for distance. If we were doing displacement, a little bit different. For displacement we need to know the direction. So this first one is positive 10. The next one is negative 40. Then it's positive 30. And then it's negative 80. Now we have to add those up. So that's going to be 10 minus 40 is minus 30, plus 30 is 0. So your total displacement is minus 80 meters. There. All the information figured out. There's a whole bunch of more things that we could do. We could also go and figure out, now that we have their total displacement, you can figure out the average velocity for the entire trip by just dividing this by the time, 19 seconds. There's also the trick for finding your total displacement, and that would be to start at your beginning point, which is here, and look at your end point, which is there, and figure out how far you travel vertically. Well, you go from 30 to 50, that's minus 80, which is what our answer was. So there's a lot of tricks, but we'll leave it at this for now. There you go.